Hey everybody, it's OtakuLdesu, and I'm going to do a Draw My Life video. Now, I know a lot of people have been doing this on chalkboards, whiteboards, and that kind of stuff, but I wanted to try doing it on paper because I can't draw on digital things for the life of me. Whiteboards are impossible, and chalkboards are frustrating, so I'm going to do this on paper. Obviously, it's going to be a little more difficult, so yeah. Chapter 1, Birth. Well, I was born. It's a pretty short chapter, other than the fact that I weighed 7 pounds, and I was born in 1995, so that makes me 17 years old. Chapter 2, Childhood. I grew up in the state of Delaware. For those of you who don't know, that's what it looks like. It is the first state of the United States, and it's actually one of the smallest. I lived in pretty much the middle of nowhere, but I made a lot of friends there, and I grew up being me, thinking that that's how the world was. I really did grow up in a beautiful part of the world, and I was really blessed to have that. So yeah, once I was 10 years old, my dad got a job offer, and we flew to California. But that would mean that I'd have to say bye to all the friends that I've made during my childhood, and that made me really sad. I knew I might be able to see them again, but I'm pretty much across the entire nation, so I didn't know what I was going to do, and I did cry a little bit. Of course, when we moved to California, it took us a while to settle in, so we went to a bunch of different schools, and I ended up being in 3 different schools in my 4th grade, so I fell a little bit behind. Then we decided to homeschool about a year later. Now, the idea of homeschooling was a little confusing because I had to read the lesson myself, do all the material all by myself, and it was kind of, the idea was lost to me. So, no teacher, it was just me. In California, we moved a lot. Now, obviously, moving across the country isn't enough, but we have moved a lot. And at this point, we had already moved twice since then, and that's a lot of lifting. I was stuck carrying all the heavier stuff because I'm the oldest child out of all of us. Let's see, when we were in the second house, I made great friends. There was me, Morgan, Zach. We right now are pretty much my closest group. And of course there's Raven, and there's Dylan, and there's Maya, Saxon, and then there's another Maya. There are just a lot of them. I'm not going to name all of them. But that's about the time when I started getting into this thing called anime. Now, I didn't know what manga was at the time, but I found anime different in a way. Their storytelling or just the artwork, everything was more epic, I guess you could say, and it really fed the craving of entertainment that I needed at that age. So that's what I started getting into. My first anime series was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Then I got into Naruto, Bleach, Death Note. Then there was Dragon Ball Z. There was all sorts of stuff. Chapter 3, Now a Teenager. In 2008, I turned 13 years old. And now I was really happy about this because that automatically meant I was a teenager. I could see PG-13 movies, and my parents couldn't tell me that I couldn't, even though they could. But yeah, before I move on, we have lived in 4 houses since we moved to California. And I'm not going to tell you the exact locations for safety reasons, even though you guys are all really pretty nice. But we were in the 2nd house when I turned 13. And we were really happy there. We lived there for around 5 to 6 years. We made great friends. Well, we had really fun times. But on the 6th year, something that my parents told me really shocked me. And it actually wasn't just told to me. It was told to all of the kids in our family. By the way, we have 5 kids in our family, if I haven't already mentioned that. My mom and dad decided that they were going to get divorced. Now, I honestly do not know what happened between them. And even if I did, I would not release that kind of information. But all I'm going to say is that they have been divorced for about a year and a half. And that's that. But anyways, with that came more moving. Yay! So we went to the third house. These are the houses now that my mom lived in. I'm not going to draw apartment complexes here. That's about the time when I started getting into YouTube videos. I saw one of Mark Crilly's how to draw manga videos, and I just decided that I really, really wanted to try those because they really inspired me, and I thought I could do it, but it's a lot harder than when I imagined. But that didn't last very long. We had to move again, and I'm saying to myself, I really hope we don't move again. And yeah, so that's about my life up till this point. If you guys were following me on YouTube earlier, I had told you that I was moving. That was that one move that I had recently mentioned. But I know I haven't had a difficult life, but I do wonder a lot of things, just nonsense sometimes, but it's just teenage guy stuff that I wonder to myself, and what I'm going to do next, and where am I going to go. It's almost time for me to head off to college. And all these things are always worrying me, but I just need to know that, just view the good in all the bad that's happened to me. Even though a lot hasn't happened to me, like I said. In everything that has happened, good can come of it. I mean, if my parents hadn't got divorced, I wouldn't have met some of the people I know right now. And they're really amazing people. So in a way, you can say that of everything bad that happens, good comes out of it. And I just need to remember, I don't know if I've already told you guys this or not, but I am a Christian, and I need to remember that whatever God brings me into, I know that He'll bring me out, and it's part of His plan, and you can already see it all unveiling. And that's the great part of life. It's one big tapestry, one big story, one big race that we all need to race. Some people decide to race it differently. All right, next chapter.